Hi, it's Miko.
And Robin.
And we're
Wander Open Roads. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. And today we are going to talk about our top 5 pros and cons for Thousand Trails. So we are Thousand Trails members.
Yes, and we have been for around 8 months now.
Yes, and we also have the Trails Collection and RPI add-ons. So, some of the things that we talk about will be related to those parks as well. So, top 5. Let's talk about the good stuff first, huh? So, our number 1 pro is, first of all, the affordability.
Yes, without this Thousand Trails Collection membership, we would not be able to travel as much as we do.
Yeah.
Just being very honest. We've been planning to travel the country for years now, and it almost seemed impossible at first until we found out about Thousand Trails.
Yeah.
And once we looked at the cost, and then after you pay your membership, knowing that there were not going to be any nightly fees, 0, I'm like, yes, that fits in the budget. Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, that's the bottom line. After your initial upfront cost, you are basically staying for free, and you have like about a $500 a year maintenance fee, and that's it. And you can camp for 365 days a year if you're able to schedule it, right? And I mean, you can't beat that.
Right. I mean, if you're part-timing or full-timing, not having a Thousand Trails membership just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the fact that some of the private parks out there, state parks, you're going to be paying, $50 plus to be able to camp every night. So just think, if you were full-timing, how much that would be.
A
like,
lot.
I can't even just think of how much money you would have to save or spend, every year to be able to do that year in and year out. Now, I do know that some people, they sell their home and they buy their RV, and then they use, the money from that to be able to pay their camping fees. We are not one of those that,
Nope.
Decided to sell their home and live in their RV full time. We actually still have a home. So that's like a big chunk of money that we didn't have coming our way to be able to afford this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So finding, strategies to make that work, we had to do that. Like, I don't really see us doing a lot of boondocking. I know some people do that, and that's how they're able to afford the camping lifestyle, but that's really not our jam. So we like staying at campgrounds and RV resorts.
Electricity.
Yes, power, water, AC.
AC, yes.
Without running our generator all the
Right,
time,
right.
or having solar panels.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's your thing, do you. But that's not like the way that we want to travel. So for us, Thousand Trails just made, it fits in the budget.
Yeah, absolutely. So the second pro that we want to talk about are just the locations of the Thousand Trails campgrounds. I mean, they're really in some great locations, because one of the things that we really enjoy doing is getting to the campground and setting up, and then seeing, okay, what is there to do in this area? Because we love history. We love to get out and lead an active lifestyle. We have our motorcycles, so we're always looking for cool motorcycle routes. So we're definitely looking at all the things that there are to do in the area. To get out and go to state parks, to go to cool historical sites, and a lot of the Thousand Trails are in really great locations for that. So.
Yes, I mean, if you like the beaches, there's so many Thousand Trails and Trails Collection Encore parks in Florida.
Yeah.
If you love the mountains, up in North Carolina, you have, locations there. So, they're, all along kind of that eastern border, and then the southern part of the United States, and then all along the East Coast.
Yeah.
So there are, you know, a lot of locations. There's like 80 plus locations. Just 1,000 trails, so we're not even talking about, you know, all of the encore parks.
Yeah.
And so once you put all of that together, you really have a lot of locations across the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other pros for 1,000 Trails is the length of stays, because, you know, especially once you kind of get out of the weekending mentality. I mean, when I go somewhere, I want to stay there for at least a week, if not 2 or 3 weeks.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum, exactly. Because, you know, I hate having to move locations, and we're constantly setting up and packing up and, you know, doing all this type of stuff. So the ability to go to 1,000 Trails and stay for 21 days, it really gives you the opportunity to, you know, you can get there, you can set up all your outdoor living stuff, you can take time to leisurely figure out, okay, what's in this area that we want to go see and do. And it's not like you're on some kind of schedule. Well, okay, well, we got to go see this today, and we got to go do this. Because you got 3 weeks. You have plenty of time. If there's a day you just want to sit, hey, you know what, I just want to sit and watch Matlock all day, you can do that, whatever, right?
Yeah, so we have the Elite membership plan, which again gives us up to 21 days.
Yeah.
And then twice a year, you can actually add on 7 additional days, so you can get 28 days at that one particular location, again, for no nightly fees.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So the next pro that I want to talk about are the amenities that are available at the 1,000 Trails and Encore resorts. And you know, all of the different parks are different. There are some better than others, but in general, they are all going to have really nice pools. Most of them are going to have hot tubs. You're going to have tennis or pickleball courts, putt-putt golf, basketball courts, volleyball. You know, a lot of them have lakes, and they have, you know, trails and things. So they're all going to have really good amenities that, you know, really make it nice, especially if you're staying for a week or 2 or 3. So, you know, that's really good.
Yeah, and I mean, we definitely, especially when the weather is warm, we like to get out and go to the pool.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to go to a place that's big enough that has a pool. We like to try to lead an active lifestyle, so getting out and being able to play pickleball is pretty awesome. And the parks are actually decent size, so we have room to kind of get out and walk, which is actually nice as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not considered an amenity, but it is something that we like to do, you know, when we're at the different campgrounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last pro that I want to mention is the fact that 1,000 Trails is, you know, once you pay your initial upfront fee, you have paid for a lifetime membership. And after that, you're just paying your annual maintenance fee. So there is basically just one upfront, you know, investment. And then after that, you're in for as long as you want to use it.
Right, and our maintenance fee is like around $550, which is actually not bad for, you know, something that you just pay once a year, and then with the no nightly fees. So that's something that we can easily fit into our budget. But to not have to worry about incurring another big cost is like a major thing for us. So the fact that it's lifetime is, you know, pretty great. And, you know, at any time when you decide, okay, you know what, I really don't want this 1,000 Trails membership anymore, you actually can cancel. So it's not like a timeshare where you just can't get out of it. You can, you know, cancel your membership and not have to pay that maintenance fee anymore.
Or you can sell it.
Or if you buy a new membership, yes, you do actually have an opportunity to resell it on the resale market.
Yeah.
And that's actually how we got our membership. We bought it as a resale, and, you know, we bought it for about half the cost of the new memberships. So, you know, again, that saved us a lot of money as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we are halfway through our list here of the top 5 pros and cons, and we just want to take this opportunity to point out our apparel. So we have t-shirts that we sell on our website, shopredsquare.com, and these are nice, very soft and comfy t-shirts that you can purchase on our website that helps to support our travel journey.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about the good stuff. Now let's talk about the not so good stuff. So we're going to get into the 5 cons. So the first con that we want to talk about is the park condition. Yeah, so as we've mentioned, all of the Thousand Trails parks are individually owned and operated, so you're going to kind of get a mixed bag on that. Some of the parks are going to be very well maintained, and then some are not. And you have to remember that I'd say the majority, if not all, of the Thousand Trails and Encore parks were existing RV parks that were kind of scooped up by Thousand Trails. They were just kind of bought up, smaller parks or individual parks. So these are not new parks that Thousand Trails is going out and building from scratch. These are older parks or individual parks with individual owners that were bought up and and combined into this membership program. So the parks are not new. It's kind of a mixed bag. You're going to have some that are very nice, and you walk in like, whoa, this is like 5-star or whatever. Then you walk in and it's like, yeah, it's really really not so great. So it really depends on how you want to camp. We are the type of people that when we go to a place, we like to see what is available in the area, not so much focused on that our campground just has to be the bomb, So for us, it's really not as big a deal. We got the Thousand Trails membership so that we can have as many nights on the road camping as possible that fit within our budget, and for that, it works great.
Right, so if you're looking for a 5-star resort-like RV campground, then I don't know, the Thousand Trails membership may not be for you. You actually might be disappointed.
Yeah.
We just came in, we need basic amenities, we need a place to park our rig, and then we kind of go from there. And, so we take it, it is what it is, and we make the best of it.
Absolutely. Okay, so the second con that we want to talk about are the permanent residents, or what we call annuals, that you will sometimes find at the Thousand Trails and Encore parks. And I don't know.
Some parks or campgrounds are better at kind of separating the people that are just there to camp and that are traveling away from those that are annuals. Yeah. Unfortunately, not all the annuals keep up their park models like really nice, so it can be, I'll just be honest, it can be an eyesore, and it can be kind of a uncomfortable situation when you're kind of having to park between 2 annuals.
Yeah. Which we've done before.
Yes.
And I have found that the annual or permanent residents, don't always really kind of follow the rules as closely as the campers that are just kind of in and out. Especially the quiet times and things like that. When you're in your permanent home and you're around a whole bunch of people in their permanent home, they don't really care about that, and that's not really managed as closely with the annuals. So
right. So if you don't mind permanent residents camping right next to permanent residents, then it's not so much a con for you. But that is one of the things that we kind of heard about Thousand Trails, and then once we got out into the different campgrounds, we saw it for ourselves. Yeah. Don't necessarily care for it, but it's not a deal breaker for us.
No, it's not. It's not. So the third con that we want to talk about are the confusing membership plans and options. You want to get into that a little bit?
So many options. It took us a while to kind of comb through all of the different options and to be able to see, what was going to be the best membership for us. Because with some of these plans, there'd be like one thing that separates them from the other. And it's like, why do you have so many plans? Like, have maybe 3 plans and call it a day. But That's not how Thousand Trails is, and they've been around so long, and they've had so many different plans over the years with all these different names. I mean, there's like a core set of, you know, memberships with, like, you know, standard names, but like just this year they came out with another membership plan.
Yep.
Again, just adding to the confusion of what makes it so hard to be able to decide if you know, want to go with Thousand Trails or not.
Yeah. So all we can say is definitely do your research, and you're going to have to do a lot of it. You're going to have to really understand the different plans to make the best decision for you and how you want to camp. But
right, and
yeah,
hopefully
you got to do your homework.
The person, the specialist, Thousand Trail specialist that you work with, explains them in a way, you know, that you understand and that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
We worked with Kimberly from Campground Membership Outlet, and she was very patient with us, and she explained, like, you know, all of the different options, and, you know, kind of based on the way that we wanted to camp, which one would be the best membership for us, and that's ultimately what we went with, which is the Elite. But wow, I mean, it's so many options.
Yeah, it can be very confusing. So do your homework, you know, get good information. Absolutely. Okay, so the next con that we want to talk about is booking parks in Florida, competing with the Snowbirds. Oh my gosh.
In the winter.
Yeah.
When, of course, that's when you really want to be in Florida.
Right, right. So.
But trying to make reservations can be so stressful.
Yeah.
When you want to be a certain place at a certain time, and then you go to book your reservation, and you realize that there are no available sites during that time.
Mm-mm.
So it can really be just you're up at midnight, you're having to jump through a lot of hoops, you know, just to, you know, be able to stay in Florida for the whole winter. If, you know, that's not something that you're trying to do, then obviously it's not a con for you. But if you're a snowbird and you're trying to go to Florida, they may have similar situations in Texas and California, but probably nothing to the level of Florida. Yeah. So just me thinking about that just, you know, kind of gives me a headache. Like, you really have to be a planner. Like, you really have to have everything planned out on your calendar, have alerts of when you need to go in and book these different things, because you have a 60, you know, day window or 120 day window. So you have to get in where you fit in.
Yeah, definitely. And we are actually planners. We are kind of natural planners. So we probably do a lot better than most people at planning, just, you know, in general. Yeah, if you're not like an organized person, not a planner, you are really going to be super frustrated with trying to compete with the Snowbirds in the winter. Yeah, so yeah, it can be really stressful. You know, like Miko said, we've had several nights where we've been up at midnight trying to, you know, get in this, you know, 120 day window, and okay, well, yeah, at midnight we're going to try to book this, and I mean, yeah, it can be stressful, and that's something that you've got to know, and it's not always fun.
And I'll just add one other thing that's actually pretty important to know about the booking reservations in these prime locations like Florida. One, you only get to have between December and March, you can only have like 2,000 Trails parks booked at a time.
Yeah. Which
then adds to, you know, the difficulty of being able to go from park to park the whole winter. So you also have to have the Trails collection, because if you can only have 2 reservations, that's not going to last you the whole winter. So you kind of put those those Trails collection encore parks in the middle of that, and then when you stay at the first 1,000 Trails with, you know, the 2 parks, you can then book the next one, and you have to kind of stay on the schedule. But just know, because that was something that we didn't really know kind of going in, and once we realized that just took it to a whole nother level of difficulty trying to get our reservations.
Yeah. Okay, so the last con that we want to talk about is the fact that there really aren't any locations in the middle of the country. you know, there are plenty in like Florida, California, and Texas, and kind of going up the coast. But yeah, but there's like hardly really nothing in the middle of the country. You know, yeah, that's a little disappointing that you're going to have to spend extra money in order to get to a lot of these other places that you want to go.
Right. I mean, Thousand Trails is like nationwide, but it's not in every state. So yeah, there are going to be some states that there are not going to be parks that you can actually go to, and you're going to have to use, you know, other memberships that you may have, or just pay full price.
Yeah.
Which is not that fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that's it for our 5 top pros and cons for Thousand Trails. Please leave your comments, ask us questions, any other questions that you may have. Please let us know, and you know, we just thank you for supporting our travel journey.
Yeah, so we're curious, you know, what are the things that you like and dislike about the Thousand Trails memberships?
Yeah.
Yes, please leave us a comment below, and then we can have a conversation about that.
Absolutely. So thanks once again for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Be sure to check out our selection of travel apparel at shopredsquare.com and our Etsy shop. Links will be in the description. Thank you.